Over. Hey, what happened this Thursday?
Hey, Scott. Not a whole lot. Big gap down, and then we ran up. And boy, after hours is really kind of going crazy with some big three uh, earnings announcement. Hi, Jamie. How are you, buddy?
Andy, what's happening? Yeah, we're getting got some
Yeah,
nice aftermarket action, not only
yeah.
in stocks, but even the SPY is
Oh,
doing a
I know.
thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
us.
When you get what is Amazon, Facebook, and Apple do what they can move markets. That's for sure, especially the Qs. Well, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today. We got a good crowd that's still filing in, and we're going to have a big one. So, thank you once again for taking time out of your day to join us. Hope you will learn something today. We do our best to see that you do that. My name is Andy, and that's my sidekick Jamie on Thursday, the Trading Studio. And let's dive in. Before we do, let's go over the legal disclaimer here. All right, we are a publisher. We're a content publisher. What we're doing here today is for educational purposes only. All right, we're not trying to sell you anything. Uh, if you're looking for investment advice, you want to seek out somebody who is licensed to do that, which would be a stockbroker, an RIA, what have you. But we're going to have a little fun talking about Momo today. I'll get to that here in a minute. After I talk about the 5-star support, education, and training that we have here at Trade Ideas. And we stand behind this. We mean this, and we get lots of emails all the time, letting us know that they appreciate all the hard work we put in to try to get you comfortable with the software. You can see over there on the left side of the page, it all starts in the Traders Room, and that's free for everyone. You do not have to be a subscriber to Trade Ideas. We hope and think that you will once you get in there and spend some time and look at all the good traders making money using the product. But once again, it's free for everyone. A great place to hang out, whether you're a subscriber or not. So just to better your trading. And then also we have webinars Monday through Thursday in the same time slot, 5 Eastern time. And you can see there, Jamie, Steve, and myself, we kind of couple up and go through most of them, 3 of them. But on Wednesday, we do give you our CEO, Dan Merkin, and CTO, Brad Williams. They have some interesting insights on developing processes, in our developmental department, things that may be coming around the corner. And it's also a great Q&A webinar. So get in there if you haven't been going to that one for sure. And let's not forget the support webinar every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern time. Okay, that's a great place to come if you have questions. Why is it so great that it's hitting us up on an email? It's because you will have a visual. So many people, they come to us by writing an email or come to our online chat, and they want to know all these things. But if I'm just sending text back to you, it may work, but if you can see a visual like you can in that support webinar, we use GoToMeeting webinar just like we're using right now, so we can demonstrate that for you. So that's the best place to go if you have any questions. Hopefully you can make it, because unfortunately these are a live stream and they're not recorded. All right, the paper trader. More and more people we're sitting on the back end are using this. Okay, both in simulated mode and live mode through IB. But we're going to focus on the paper trading in this little slide here, because it's a great little interface for you to test your strategies, your portfolio management skills. You do not need a broker. Okay, it's just do everything right on Trade Ideas. You don't have to fund an account or anything. There's no extra charge on Trade Ideas. You just have to have a subscription, and you can have a standard subscription, and you have access to this module. So once again, it's called Brokerage Plus. It's in your software. Just click on the new menu and you will see it in there, and get on it. It's a great little paper trading venue. All right, agenda for today, market recap. And I'm going to say it's going to go up. At least it's going to gap up to market. But and we got Holly recap, a couple of good trades in NEO. I've been focusing on NEO today. NEO's been having much more better good days than she has bad days. So now I mentioned this to you guys several times over the last month. Be sure you're watching NEO during this earnings season when you get to the thick of it, because you can catch some good ones in there, and that has definitely been the case lately. And then a channel that I put together called Momentum. Okay, it's a Momo channel. And I'm hoping Brad didn't steal my thunder and talk about this in yesterday's webinar. I bet you Mike C will tell me if you did or not, but I'm going to go over it anyway because I put it together, and there's also, I'm sure if he did go over it, there's some things I want to share about it that I think can help you guys who are momentum traders to become, better at it. I did this for 17 years, so I'm going to give you some insights, and Jamie can always throw his hat in the ring as well. But let's back out now and let's dive into the market recap. And I'll tell you, when you see action like you saw today, boy, well, you can see there we gapped down. That was the whole gap down. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see and pull up my pen here. But you can see, let's grab the intraday real quick. Yeah, there's the gap down in the intraday right there. Pretty big gap down in the SPYs, drove down for 30 minutes, put in a couple of bottoming tails, and really never looked back. Kind of pulled back a little bit, caught the fast line, and now you can see it after hours because of Apple. If I can get the right symbols in there, trading up at 404 from the close of 384. Amazon trading 32, what's that, 2,000 points or more than that? Yeah, whatever it is, it's huge.
Yeah,
and
200. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, 2,000. I'm sorry, 200. And Facebook. So just mammoth moves in after hours by a huge portion of what makes up the queue, and of course you can see the queue there up another, geez, what's that, almost 4 points in after hours. So that's going to put it not far from all-time highs again. So they're going to rule the world someday, Jamie. Those three.
What do you mean someday?
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, throw Google in there. Yeah, see what they're probably gapping up to a little bit. Yeah, once their earnings come out, I'm sure the Qs will be back at all-time highs. So not going to go too much into it about where the market may be going, because we can kind of see more than likely it's, unless we have some sort of catalyst overnight, some macro event, that we're probably going to be gapping up to tomorrow in both the Qs and the SPYs. But if you look at today's action, they were kind of tipping their hand to this because Qs were really strong today compared to the SPYs. I think the SPYs actually finished negative on today, but not so much for the Qs, actually closing above their 10-period moving average. So even without the gap, that was a very strong day for the Qs. Semis have been very strong, back at all-time highs. Okay, semis were kind of leading the way today. So very impressive in the Qs tape. SPYs not as impressive. You can see they actually finished down on the day, but they did close back above their 10-period moving average. So Jamie, I'm not even going to look at the IWM and the diamonds. I like kind of I mainly focus on the SPYs. I will pull up the Qs occasionally, but I know how weighted that thing is with those big boys. So impressive. Could be looking at a possible, since I haven't used my, kind of a big, there's your cup and here's your handle in the SPYs. And let me see what we're looking at in the Qs. I don't think we're gonna get that same formation in the Qs because they already took out, there's no cup there, right? Because they took out their high back over here a long time ago. So no cup there, but definitely some strong pin action in after hours, which could take this back to all-time highs tomorrow or the next day. So
yeah, and we got the Apple split news after earnings. 4-for-1 stock split in Apple.
Yeah. Funny story, Jamie. I know you were trading back in the days too, but before we handed it off to Holly, I can remember back in early 2000, I'd have to go back on the monthly chart to look when it was, but I'm noticing this little stock coming through. It was trading around $6, and it's AAPL, and I'm going, wow, look at this thing, and it was like 4 or 5 days with just huge volume. I mean, I said to myself, something's going on here. Of course, I scalped it out for 10 or 15 cents.
Of course.
And of course, yeah. For 4 days, I was real proud of myself. Probably made, some decent money on it. And I'm thinking, and of course, what happened is 2 weeks after that is when they first came out with those iPod commercials. Remember the iPod commercials? Everybody dancing around, and that was when they took off. And I just thinking, all those thousands and thousands of shares I traded down that week. I'm thinking, why didn't it just hold 1,000? That would have been nice. But anyway, so is the life of a day trader. All right, Jamie. Did I lose you?
Nope. I was just answering a question.
Oh, no problem.
Had the old, hey, can I run the client on a Mac or any Apple computer? And the only way you can run the client, the downloadable client, on a Mac is if you're running Windows in parallel mode. So otherwise, you have to use the web version.
Right, but it does work great on parallels. I've done several, many one-on-ones, and it's not an issue at all. I just know some Mac users don't like doing that, but well, for right now, it's all you can do.
Absolutely. Let's see here, before we progress to Holly.
Yeah, got some more questions.
The question is whether Trade has a scanner and chart platform, and yes, Rome. Yes to that question.
You are looking at it. We have what's called A windows, alert windows, multi-strategy windows that you see here. We have top list, which is more like a scan, and of course there's your charting package. Now your charting package doesn't come with a lot of bells and whistles. First and foremost, we are idea generation, and we're going to keep it that way. But we have made some decent strides in our charts. But if you want more out of a chart, you're probably going to have to go to a D-Signal or some package like that.
Yeah, and lastly here, I think the asker was Chase. How do I get this chart? This has everything I want, but the one I have is not this.
Which one?
Not really.
Are you
not really sure.
Are you talking about my chart, Chase?
Well,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can share it.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep. I can just do this and share it with you. Going to have 4 moving. On my intraday, all I like using is a 10-period moving average, but I'll save this one for you and share it.
Andy, and I forget, sometimes that we can share cloud links of charts because we just don't do it very often,
No, we don't. All right, let me expand my chat here and do Andy's chart. And there is the cloud link for it.
All right, and if you're ready, Andy, I'll go ahead and grab it.
Yep,
and
go ahead and grab it.
We'll talk about Holly. Holly kind of taking a breather today. And when I say taking a breather, boy, she was sprinting full force yesterday. So before we get into the couple of, maybe we got a good example of one trying to capture some of this conservative spread. Let me get my pointer here, and moderate spread. And then we've got a good example of a trade around. But before we go into that stuff from today's action, just want to give everybody a little peek because Holly really lit it up yesterday. Best day we've seen in a very long time. So this is also a good opportunity to show you how to use the historical feature in the AI just by right-clicking, coming down here to history, just like all the other windows, and go yesterday. And boy, look at that blotter from yesterday. All right, lots and lots of green on there, some nice percentage winners, but a really nice and profitable day yesterday. From Holly, best we've seen in a very long time. So to see her kind of pull the reins in today and basically, let me get back to today. If we focus our attention over here on the channel bar, well, we got 1.0 on 4 trades being down about $400. Now, I feel the need to point out here, these metrics over here are based on taking 100 shares per trade, which on my blotter here, I'm saying risk $100 per trade and letting the system size me accordingly on the shares here. This is still reflective of 100 shares per pop or 100 shares per trade. So when we got 400 a $400 loss up here on 1.0, and then between 2.0 and NEO, we've got about 500 in profits. So we could just say on the total of 9 trades here, we had a basically about up $100 if we were trading 100 shares per pop. Now let's focus on the action from today. And if I can push the right button here to get my pointer back, we'll be off to the races. So today, kind of a lackluster performance. The figures you see here are based on risking $100 per trade. Pretty even split, barely up. However, conservative profit and moderate profit. Not a whole lot of spread in the FBHS trade. Not quite a 2-for-1. So we're going to focus on AVTR here real quick, because in conservative mode, the AI booked a $50 profit based on risking 100. But if we would have stayed in it and ignored the profit save exit, we could have done twice as well, 50 versus 100. So let's take a look at that one. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. AVTR was running right off the bat. AI calls the buy signal right here at the 2118 level. And then we just get some nice continued action. Now, profit save. Notice the little wick that was put in right here. This little gyration down probably is the one that triggered that profit save right there. So nice and simple. Holly bailed out early on a profit save, but we were well above the signal line here. And, you know, things were going in our direction immediately, which is always nice. No hemming and hawing around the entry line, which is common in some of these plays. But the bottom line is we could have just ignored the exit signal and stayed in it, and could have gleaned twice as much. Also too, especially when you're getting used to this methodology and following the AI trades, might take the sting off a little bit of the learning curve to do the old half and half methodology. All right, when you see the AI exiting in conservative mode, maybe take half off. This is a case today where if we would have taken half off with Holly right about here, and just set our stop to break even, which is the blue line down here, would have kept us in it pretty much all day. Never really got back down to that break even line. All right, they don't always do this. Sometimes they'll come down here and stop you out, but by doing the 50-50 methodology, we're in essence locking in a winning trade, lock in the profit on that first half, take a little bit more risk with the break even, and that would have paid off well today. If it does roll over and get you out, at least you made money on the first lot. So, you know, not exactly lighting everything on fire today, but that was a decent little way to extract some of this spread between conservative and moderate profit. The other one that we have to take a look at is what I like to reference as a trade around. Okay, notice in this BLNK right here, early buy signal, early stop out. Okay, let's stretch that out just a little bit more. We're looking at 15-minute candles here, so we got the buy signal in this candle, and then whoosh pretty quickly, and we can take note of the time over here. 8:48 on the entry time, 8:56 on the exit time. So she was only in the trade a total of approximately a little under 6 minutes there, because the stop out came very fast. Now, this is a classic example of the stock kind of hovering right around the stop area. The stop in this case acted pretty much very similar to a pivot point, okay? So when we see the AI getting stopped out and we see the stock kind of holding strong around that stop loss area, not really just hammering down and going lower and lower and lower, well, then that's something that we should always pay attention to. Before we, you know, talk about this one in a little bit more depth, check out this one, okay? Oops. You'll know when you see them motoring through the stop area. Now this was a short trade, so just flip it around, okay? We got the short signal, we got the stop out. So of course, just imagine the inverted. This thing just kept on motoring. It did not hang around the stop area, giving us a good chance at a second reentry for a down move. It just blew right past it. So this would have been a non-event. You look at this one, you think to yourself, it's not hovering around the stop area, therefore I have no interest in re-entering the trade. Whereas this one, where do we go, blink? There we go. Okay, notice how this one just kind of came down here, put in a wick here, and then before you know it, we're back above the stop area, okay? So once we saw these two wicks put in, we could have taken a stab and said, you know what? Once we regress from the wicks, We could have got in there and taken a stab and got a much better price than the AI. We could have stuck with these little pivots down here, these wicks, as a stop loss, maybe just stretch it out a little bit further. If you miss this opportunity, Lookout comes down here and tests it one more time, puts in another nice little wick here, even better here because then it reclaims the fast line. Okay, this one a little bit iffier, all right, a little early in the game, but once we see it come back up to the entry line, come back down, test that stop one more time, didn't get near as far through it, but the bottom line is it's sticking in close proximity here. If it were just kept going down, 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 we would have said no interest. This stop area is not acting as a pivot point. So these are frequent, okay? A lot of the times the AI just goes with the trade. Sometimes it gets stopped out because while the statistical probability is good for the day, sometimes the timing is just a little bit off, as was the case with Blink. Then what did it do? It turned and burned and went from, roughly speaking, say once we saw this wick put in, we said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and take a little stab at it right here, use the original stop or the lows of these candles right here, and then you get a move from 1185 all the way up to, 14 and a half approximately, a big move, but in a stock that the AI got stopped out of, brings our attention to it. We notice how it acts around the pivot area or the stop loss area, acting as a pivot area, I should say. And then that gives us the confidence to go ahead and take that second entry. To steal a phrase from Steve Gomez, in this case, it's the second mouse that gets the cheese, okay? Very similar probably to what some of you have experienced with your own trading. Hey, I got stopped out. I'm gonna try it one more time, and then the second time works, okay? But it's all assuming on, how that stock acts around the pivot area. So this was the only good example today. We saw the TAOP just keep on motoring through. ARCE, kind of similar action, just didn't give up quite as much. And of course, that was a short sell as well. But you can see up here how that stock acted around its pivot area. Barely got above it, snapped right back down, never came close to it again as it took the turn back down. So although this was another opportunity, it just didn't have as much on the table as the BLNK did for sure. And that's really about it for Holly today, Andy, as she kind of goes sideways, so to speak, after a massive day yesterday.
All right, Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm doing what you do. I'll answer a question over here.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, let me explain to Michael here. He's looking for, he would like to find biotech stocks that may tweet about coronavirus. And we have no news search as far as that searches for words out there. Those are, you have a lot of high frequency trading news reading bots that do that. Even if we did, you would not catch them before those high frequency trading news reading bots. They have co-located computers right next to the exchanges. You're more likely to see it in the volume on in the alert window before you see it, in the news. I mean, and anyway, you can't do that. You can build a symbol list, but a symbol list is only stock symbols. Okay, there's no way you can put a tag word in there looking for tweets. We just don't have anything that sophisticated, and you're not. I mean, like I said.
Yeah, I usually kind of broach that topic at the beginning of the Holly segment, but I forgot to take note here. We've got conservative, we've got moderate, and then we've got aggressive profit over here, okay? So we're going to display all three of these modes each and every day just so people can see, okay, which mode is doing the best today. But conservative, there's 5 reasons why the AI can exit a position, all right? The 3 primary ones are a stop loss gets hit, a profit target gets hit, or the timed hold that we see down here in the strategies field expires. So if the stop loss or profit target does not occur and the 120-minute hold time expires, then the AI will exit because the hold time has expired. Now, the 2 audibles, as I like to call them, profit save and reduce risk, are the other 2 of so that rounds it out to 5 total reasons in conservative mode why the AI could close something out. Stop loss, profit target, timed hold, or if a stock that's been going up on a long pulls back a little bit, then she has the right to execute the profit save. And on the other side of that coin, the stock, a losing trade that hasn't quite stopped out yet, she has the right to pull the plug on it early in the form of reduced risk. So that's what you're seeing, that's how the numbers add up in the conservative profit mode. Moderate profit mode is simply attaching a stop loss, okay, to the rule set. It's going to ignore the other factors, okay? So as long as the trade does not get stopped out, then this total here, or this net move change, or net change, I should say, is going to continue to be tracked for the remainder of the day. If the stop gets hit, then moderate profit is frozen at the stop level, okay, or the stop amount, I should say. Now, aggressive is simply letting the thing run until the close with no risk management whatsoever. It's just showing you, hey, this is what would have happened if you would have just put this thing on and then let it go to the close. Classic example is TAOP with no risk management. Instead of losing $100, I would have been down 3.5 times that amount. Okay. So aggressive is just simply opening the position and maintaining where that position is for the remainder of the session. So hopefully that kind of illuminates the difference between those three. And Andy, I saw one more question up there. I think it was from Nicholas.
Yes.
Asking if the AI feature can be semi-automated, or is it just meant as a help to find entry and exit points? And the answer is yes, both of those things can be done. A lot of people prefer to have the AI make the entry because, even though we're not going to be out there competing with high frequency traders, right? Because things just aren't that fast, okay? It can still make an entry a lot faster than me, Andy, or any other human out there. By the time you see the signal hit, you look at your blotter, it's there. There's no hunting and pecking for the symbol or clicking and taking a look at the chart and going, yeah, I think it looks good, click, right? It's just, boom, it's there, okay? And a lot of people prefer that method, and then they manage the exits, what we could call gray boxing, letting the computer do one task, you handle the other task. Now, it is possible to black box it. You can let the AI get you in and get you out if that's what you prefer to do. But the more popular method is man working with machine, the old Paul Tudor Jones quote there. And, myself and Andy and Steve and Michael and Sean and everybody still think that's probably the most efficient way to do it. And then you can also use it just as another high quality information stream, like an alert window, or, going back to what I was saying earlier, there's a case to be made that you could just completely ignore original entry signals and watch the AI's exit signals, and you could probably make some pretty good entries on those exit signals, right? So there's a lot of different ways to make use of the Holly information stream, but both of those things that you spoke about earlier are definitely doable there. All right, Andy.
All right. Very
Should
good,
I kick
Jamie.
it back over to you?
Kick it back to me, and
All right.
I'll. We're getting a lot of questions today.
Yeah, that's good.
And we did get a question asking about somebody just upgraded to premium. Where can I learn more info so I can use it better to get my money's worth out of the plan? What to do with Holly's AI offer and do well. I'm gonna tell you what I think is the best to do. If you just got Holly, okay, the best thing to do, and I sent you a video in there, but I'm also gonna send you actually another one. It's for the paper trader, but I have to do that here in just a little bit. The main thing, what you want to do when you first get it is just manually trade it. Look at stocks, and you can use our paper trader. And if you see something you like, and they're always out there. I'm focusing on NEO right now. Okay, NEO has been outperforming the others. When you're new, you can take a look at all the entries so you can get a feel of the strategies and what they're kind of looking for. And we also have a page on our website, which you go down to the footer section where you can look up strategy descriptions, and get an idea of what they're trading. But the main thing is just trial and error. I treat Holly as a very special alert. I got several alerts that I really love, and Holly is one of them. What makes it special is it has this back testing feature, an optimization feature that it does every night. So you kind of got house odds when you come in. But at the same time, there's so many different variables in the marketplace that a trader has to consider. So the people that try to come in, hook up every strategy and run it on auto, they don't do very well. But there's traders out there that trade it manually, look for the the decent setups, stocks like this AVTR that are breaking out through an all-time. That's what you call a gap and go. Just huge volume and strength behind it. This one right here was a breakout above this level right here. I'm always looking for kind of like breakouts. Okay, once it broke across that through that level, that tells me, you know what, the chances with this kind of volume of it going to this level right here are really good. So, and you can see it actually went through that level because of the volume it had behind it. So I'm always looking for reasons why to take a trade and not just blindly coming in. And if you're new to trading, it's going to take some time. This is why you want a paper trade. Okay, you're not going to know, the things that a 20-year trader knows. It takes time, and but that's what's great about the paper trader. And you can hook up Holly. You can actually auto trade. You may want to auto trade Holly at first and use Holly for the entries, and then you exit on your terms. So there's different ways to do it, but the best thing to do is just open it up, get a feel for it, and start paper trading it. That's the best way to do even your own strategies. All right. Do have a little bit of content today. There's been some great questions. Jamie, I'll let you just interrupt me if you get any more, if you can't handle them, but we do have to get moving on because I want to show this today. Okay, let me kind of set the stage here. We have people coming to us all the time. Hey, do you got this Momo strategy that I've seen online? Do you have this high of day Momo scanner? All these different Momo scanners. Let me tell you something about Momo. All right, there's a lot of ways to create a configuration to show you stocks that are hitting highs and doing it on great volume. Okay, I can tell you this right now. 90% of those stocks that come through are coming through on other trade ideas scanners as well. That's Extreme Master Blaster, which is part of the Momo channel that I'll bring up here in a minute. It's in there. And let me just go ahead and bring it up. Okay, to find it, just go down to our channels and look for the little running man. And did I miss it? Gosh, there it is. All right, this is the new Momentum scanner. All right, and once again, I'm going to break down each of these three. There's only three windows in here. This is the multi-strategy window called Master Blaster, and I'm going to show you the segments on it. And then I'm going to, well, that looks good right there for a continuation move coming through on volume to close. Then I'm going to break down this one here, and this is a single A window. Okay, it just says Momo, and it's an A window, and it's just looking for stocks hitting new high. Right now, and this one right over here is just a low float winners. I'm looking, there's a lot of people out there like to trade low floats. I wanted to have a top list in here. Michael actually recommended it for people to see data right when they come in the morning. This will have data in it because it's just a top list and it doesn't have a lot of filters in it. So let's take a look at this one first because it's pretty simple. All I did here was configured. If I go in here and click on window specific filters, this is just an earnings per share hack that filters out any stocks that or any symbols that do not report an earnings. Okay, so you're not going to get ETFs. It makes sure ETFs do not come through. The float, I set it a max of 20 million. That's just kind of the number I use. Anything over 20 million to me is what I consider low float. Some people may use 10 or 15, but the price is $1 to $100. Change from close has to be up at least 2%. Volume today, I probably could have used something higher than this. You got to be careful. You will see some stocks in here. You need to look at their average volume on our single stock window. You can see it right here inside this channel. Make sure you look at the average 10-day volume because there will be some thin ones. That one's not too thick right there. But This is just a way for you to watch stocks. This PRPO obviously looked like it was halted during midday, a nice little gap there. This one took off. Would have seen this, you know, inside this window when it took off. So just an easy way to find stocks that are, look at all these stocks gapping up after hours too, crazy. Man. But nice little window that you can just kind of scan and go through your symbols and see if you can find anything interesting setting up in there. Now, Extreme Master Blaster, this is the one I built a while back, and I can tell you this is as good as any of those Momo scanners out there. I mean, if I'm looking for Momo, I just want to see, you know, I'm looking for stocks that are doing huge volume and are breaking out of a range. To me, that's momentum. Okay, a stock that's in the middle of its 3-day, 5-day range, that's not real momentum to me. I need stocks that are moving. So all of these are pretty much going to be like at least a 10-day high. And let's take a look at the different strategies. I have extreme volume, $2 to $10, extreme volume over 10, extreme low float. So a lot of the ones you see in here, you're also going to see over here in this window because it's low float, and the yellow ones. 52-week high, all stocks that are doing huge volume and hitting a 52-week high, and all stocks on an all-time high. You can see this DDOC over here, TDOC. Today, got up there, was hitting an all-time high there at the close. Let's go ahead and put it on a today, and let's see the stocks that were coming through today. See if any of these would have paid off. And it's loading. All right, this is early in the morning. You know, I like to start looking at these things about 8:45. Avatar, there, that was one. Yeah, that's the one that Holly bought. Was, so you saw it right there. Look at that. 52-week high was also coming through this alert. So if you weren't watching Holly, you would have got a nice little alert on this. You know, right around, actually a little bit higher on that one. See if that was coming. Yeah, I'm sure it was coming through earlier too, though. All-time high on these. Now, a lot of these were gaps, probably off earnings, so they didn't perform all that well. But nonetheless, you're going to find, look at that one, beautiful all day. Just there, you saw it right there around 680. And look at that thing, just continued to go all the way up to, you know, 740, something like that. That one was a kind of, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Even though this is hitting a 10-day high, this to me is really not momentum. Now, I use a 10-day high, but in this case, if I would have saw a chart like that, I'm backing away. It's not breaking out. You know, I'd rather see it at least up here somewhere, breaking out of this 2-month high, and then you got a possible gap to fill. That's where I would like to see it. All right, well, you can take a look at these. Qualcomm all-time high. Man, remember that thing? Well, they must have split a few times. Remember that was around 1,000 at one time, Jamie. So that obviously had several splits.
That one was on fire today for sure.
Yeah. All right, so a great little window, guys. Great little window that's broken down. You see the strategy name over here, so you can see, you know, if it's hitting a 52-week high, you look for the green, blue. You know, if you see that, it's an all-time high, showing you the volume. I had the volume coded, so you see the really dark stuff. LTRX today was coming through in huge brown color. That's way up there, as high as no, it actually got 5,000 too, I think. All right. Anyway, great stuff in that. Take a look at it, because you guys that want to trade momentum, if you're just only in momentum, this is probably all you need to do is come to this channel. All right, because or you can always, if you like to do a little bit of everything, you can always pull, you know, save these to the cloud and pull them over to your layout as well. This one right here, let's take a look at the difference between this one right here. Take a look at the configuration. Now, what you're going to see in this one, that's the biggest difference is going to be, I don't have an average daily volume in this one. It has to be doing 400% volume in the 5-minute time frame, 1,000% volume in the 1-minute time frame. to break that down to make it understandable, it's basically 10 times 1 minute volume, at the average 1 minute volume. Okay, relative volume has to be 3. Volume today, it has to have done 100,000 shares, but there is no average daily volume. Okay, in that Extreme Master Blaster, I do have average daily volume. Okay, because for most people, they like stocks that have traded at least 200,000 or 300,000 shares, on average a day. So, but this one right here, you don't have any. But I do put a minimum volume a day of 100,000, so it can't be doing 40 or 50,000 shares. It's got to be coming through doing some serious volume. Price between $1 and $50, and you're going to find some beautiful ones in here today as well. It's loading, and I bet you it says more available. Yes, it does. Let's see how far the server stopped before it quit giving it to me. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming through. Let's go to, if you see there's more available and you want to see more, just go to history and click on more, and it'll start back up where it left off. So the gap down, look, there's still more available. The gap down didn't scare anybody today, but that's okay. We're getting close enough. Let's take a look at some of these today. There was a nice one, 852, and it came through earlier. I can promise you that. Little $1 stock, $1, 11 cents. Well, it's a big percentage move, but still only went up about 15 cents. What about this one today? Nice little TAOP. Was that where's this buy signal? Well, I'm not sure what that was, Jamie. Is that a Holly call?
That was a Holly call today. That
Oh.
that was the short that she tried.
Oh, oof.
And got tapped out pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. I missed that one. But that's probably because I had it on Neo. Coop. Quick. What's that? 30-minute move, and then that settled down. Could be one to watch for some tomorrow. That one was a quick move and kind of settled down. That was one we looked at earlier. Remember, that one was coming through my Extreme Master Blaster. You're definitely going to see some duplicates, so it's going to be hard to miss some of these things when they're coming through. What I like about this one, you'll get a lot of strings of the same ones coming through, like that, TAOP. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. Wait. Wait a minute. Gotta look at this 1 minute volume. This is what keeps a stock going in the same direction for a long period of time. Somebody mentioned that today, percentage gain in volume, and I told him truth. Look at this column right here. That is just huge 1 minute volume. Okay, we're talking about 50 times its normal 1 minute volume. And that is why, when you have that kind of volume, it's more likely to keep that stock going in the same direction. Huge move from 6 to 7 going sideways, and then another thrust higher for another 40 cents. And probably need to watch that in the future as well. So that's the kind of stuff. Now, if you see it just in one bar, you got to be careful. This is why I tell people, don't be afraid 30 minutes after the market, if you see something that looks extended but it's continuing to do that huge volume, okay, more than likely it's going to continue in the same direction, much like this did. Look at the volume in this thing, just astronomical. Why did this thing now finally pulled back here at the close after a huge move from $5 to $15? But look at that, and look once again. I can't even. That is 300 and whoa. Hit the.
You got the big paintbrush.
I do, boy. That is 370 times normal 1 minute volume. That's just astronomical. And look what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars in a row from $5 or all the way up to $15.
Yeah, Andy, I can't really recall seeing a 1 minute value that big.
I can't either. That is huge. I think that's the highest I may have ever seen, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, guys, this is a nice little simple alert that's going to help you. And look, that thing was coming through just all day long. Let's take a look at this real quick. A little continuation there after that. Once again, big volume. They have a hard time pulling back when you got that kind of volume behind it. All right.
Hey, Andy, quick question.
Sure.
The Momo channel was automatically added to the toolbar, yes? Not necessarily having to wait. I'm sorry, yes, the channel bar.
Yes.
And quickly, if you're not seeing that channel on your channel bar, you might want to X the channel bar out and spawn a new one from the TI toolbar.
I'll show you how to do it. Just close it out and then go to new, find channel bar, and you should see it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I don't think he would have just put it on the developmental build. He doesn't normally do that. But anyway, try doing that and see if you don't get it. Yeah, let us know if you got that or not, because I'd like to know. But anyway, a very good simple alert. You know, if you don't want to watch, you know, all these different colors coming through, you're new and you don't want to try to follow what's, you know, hitting and just want to watch something simple, this Momo scanner is a great one. Okay, thanks, Debbie. Debbie says it's on her channel bar. All right, guys. That's about it. I don't have anything else for the schedule. I want to spend my time on this today. If you're looking for Momo, be sure to go to the little running man and the Momo Minim channel. It's a great little place to go just to look for oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. If you just want to keep it simple and look for stocks that are doing Momo. So, all right, Chase, I mean, says, I came to the right teaching, exactly what I wanted. All right, thank you, Chase. Great, thank you, appreciate that. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna sign off. I got family coming in town, and thank you guys for all your kind remarks. I'm gonna bring Scott in here, and it looks like all the questions have been answered, so I'm gonna bring him in here and let him walk us out.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. A couple of those items on the way out to keep in mind. We've got those daily support sessions every trading day at 12 noon Eastern time. It's free. It's on our YouTube channel. Easiest way to find it is just to go to trade-ideas.com/live, and that'll take you directly to the page. We've also got a new ebook that's been out for a little while. It's timely because we're entering an earnings season. So just go to trade-ideas.com/earnings to get your free ebook that has some chapters on how to take advantage of earnings season, and also includes some scans that you can put in your own layouts and make use of it right away. The podcast, just search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your pods. And add us as a subscription. You'll be able to pick up the next one. I think we're going to be releasing another one pretty soon with some important announcements. But we've already released some nice interviews this year, so go ahead and check those out and add us as a subscription so you're ready to get the next one as soon as it is published. There's a code, summertime. Use that for 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. You can also use that to upgrade from standard to premium, so write that down and use it before it expires. Any questions, send your emails to info@trade-ideas.com. It goes into our help desk software, so it doesn't get lost. It gets routed to the best team member here to answer your question in the most timely manner. So info@ is the best place to send your questions. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot, or Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. There's also at Trade Ideas, and Trade Ideas Pro is the handle on Facebook to find and like, so you can share stuff with your friends. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andy and Jamie. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Yes, have a good Friday and a great weekend.
Yep, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.